Hey everybody, thanks for stopping back into the Red Barn. It's more fun with the Ferrari Swap 914, and with all the big deal fabrication work most of the way done, I now get to focus in on getting this thing to run. So in this episode, I start working on systems like the fuel system, the brake system. Oh, the electronics package is due to arrive, and assuming they do, I'll cover those. Just a quick kind of unboxing thing. And oh, at the end, we're gonna run into Morti's and just say hi to the kitties. So hope you enjoy. All right, I want to get started on the fuel system, and the first thing I'm going to do is make the main fuel line that's going to run through the tunnel from the gas tank at the front to the, and the fuel pump will be at the front too, back to the engine. And so I'm going to start with this coil, and now I'm just going to straighten out this first section. And you can do it by hand, and there's a couple different ways to do it, but because I'm a tool whore, I bought this tubing straightener outer tool. And it's just these 5 rollers, and then it's like a roll bender, only it's a straight bender. It wants to take things that are curved and make them straight. And it does it by what you're about to see. So let me put you on the stand back here, and I'll go ahead and do this. But there you go, one straightened tube. It's time to run the lines in the interior of the car. And I'm not going to run it in the tunnel, I'm going to run it on the tunnel. So I plasma cut up a little shape, and now I'm going to go bend this up, and I'll show you what this is going to be for. And what this is going to be is a hydraulic line and fuel line bulkhead. And it's going to live right about there. The tricky part is running lines through the tunnel. There's no real convenient way to secure them down, and that means that I have to pull, if something happened and I needed to service them, I'd have to pull the drivetrain out and disconnect things and pull them out the back. This is going to end up being a bulkhead here. I'll build another one for the front, and I'll have permanent solid lines that can live permanent, solid lines in the car. And then what I'm going to do, there's holes in the firewall already at the base, which is where I want all these lines to go through. So I'm going to slice a little section of that lower firewall out and build a plate that's also going to be a bulkhead fitting, and it's going to have soft lines that run from the inside up to that bulkhead fitting. So I can easily just put that plate on with the soft lines on it. They'll come into here. I can attach them, hard lines up to the front, and then soft lines over to the hydraulics for the brake line and the clutch line, and then a soft line up into the fuel tank area. And that's kind of what I did in the LS car. It works great, and it means I can get to stuff. I don't have to try to work inside the tunnel, and since it's going to get covered with the console anyway, why not? So I'm going to keep working on this and get it attached to the car. So there it is, 2 hydraulic lines, clutch, brake, 1 fuel line. And I sort of chickened out. I left a little bit of room in there. I might be able to sneak a second fuel line in here if it turns out I can't run with the deadhead setup. But that's how that goes. And then here's how this goes together. One of the bulkhead fittings for the hydraulic lines. And another one for the clutch. And I got to order some for the fuel. But there you go, 1 rear bulkhead. All right, it's getting a little messy. I got too much going on. But now I am going to make a fuel line. So the first thing I'm going to do is just slice off more than enough material. And this is just a little regular old tubing cutter. I am going to deburr it, and what I'm going to use is just a countersink. And I'm just going to run a file around the outside. And then, now, as I mentioned, we're using AN fittings, and this is a flaring tool. And the way it works is there is a set of vice jaws, if you want to call it that, for the tubing size you're using. This is 3/8 tubing, and so it's going to hold that in there. And then, let me just put this together. These go into the vise. This closes to hold it in place. Then insert the tube. Make sure you're working with the right end. Insert tube. And what you got is, I'm just going to barely snug that up. And what you've got here is a couple of different operations. The first operation, you can see it says OP0, and that's the 0 set step. And so what this is a turret. I'm going to take it off of here for just a second. And you can see it's just got all the different size tubes that this supports. And then OP0 is the distance setter. So if you put the turret in and then align it up with OP0, leave this snug so it can still push the tube, or leave it loose so it can push the tube, and then you take it through its stroke, and that sets it where you're supposed to clamp the tube. Now the tube is clamped. Get that nice and tight. And then you go to operation 1. There's 3/8, right? And so I'm going to go to operation 1, and I'm going to give it a pull. And when it goes till it stops, now I go to op 2 and pull it till it stops. And now, if I undo this a teeny bit, open this up, take my part out, I have got a 37-degree flare ready to go into an AN fitting. Okay, pardon the mess, but let's go ahead and make the clutch line, the hard line for the clutch. I got the rear bulkhead in, and I went back and remade one in aluminum just because I felt like it. I needed to make 2, and I realized I wanted to make a couple of minor changes. So I got that one in, and I got this one located at the front. You can see I have now got a soft line running from the clutch master up over in the footbox to the bulkhead connector on that. And so now we're going to make a hard line that runs down the tunnel to that connector. So we're back at the flaring tool, and I've got my length of 3/16 line. I've got my 3/16 die, and so I'm going to put that in there, get everything set up. And now let's check the flare. And there is a 37-degree flare. Now I need to assemble the line. So let's go do that. And I'll do some close-up stuff. You'll see how this works. So here's the tube. There's the flare. And this is called a tube sleeve. That's got the backer for the flare, right? So I'm going to slide the tube down onto the tube sleeve, and you'll see how that assembly works, right? So this tube sleeve backs up the flare and provides a surface for the tube nut to go on. So I'm now going to slide the tube nut onto the tube, thread side facing the fitting. And here you can see the tube sleeve fits right down in there. And this is now ready to go onto the -3 AN fitting in the car. So the other thing is, you think, oh good, flare the other end and make sure your measurements are right and away you go. But what happens if I flare this other end now? Well, I can't get all those pieces on there. So not that I've ever done that before. So now, remembering that this is all backwards, grab another tube sleeve and a tube nut. So first the sleeve, the tube nut goes on. Then the tube sleeve goes on. So we're all set to now put a flare on this end once we get the exact measurement. So I'm going to slide those things down out of the way. And normally what I do is I'm going to put a piece of tape on here so it can't come off. But now I can't forget to put the other hardware on the line. So let me go fit this in the car now and get the measurement. All right. Now it's going to be easier for me to work at this end. So I'm going to slide the tube nut all the way down here. And now I'm going to come down here and get an eyeball measurement of this. Now you're also going to say, wait a second, the shift box has to go in here. So this has to come around here. So yes, this has to be bent. And I'm going to put little supports. You'll see those in a second. But I am going to put some little supports in there. And I've got to have it come down the tunnel, inboard of this, and then it's got to come back out a little bit. The joy of this stuff is so soft and so easy to work with. And then once it gets clear of, and I'm going to have a support for it, there'll be one support right here. And you can see that basically lines it right up with the height I want. And again, it's so flexible and it rotates, so you can play with it. Now I want it to go straight right in front of this fitting, which is right there. So there is my length. I have to account for some of the tube that's getting taken away by the flare being pushed in and then folded to make that 37-degree mark. So let me get a Sharpie. So now I'm going to go back and do the same thing, flare this. Flaring done. And look at that fit. Look at that fit. And there we go. Not going to tighten everything down because I still have some adjustments to make. But there is our internal bulkhead to bulkhead hydraulic clutch line. Oh, and so let me show you the clips that I'm talking about. These are called, from a company called Notchhead, and they make a whole bunch of very interesting, handy-dandy line clips. But what they are, I'll just see if I can reach over and show you. They're just, in the case of these, they're little plastic clips with a fastener hole. And so what'll happen is I will put one here, and you can see exactly what it's going to do. There we go. So that was making up the hard line for the brakes and a little bendy action, and we've now got all of our internal hard lines. You saw me make the first part of the fuel line. I just made up the next part, or the other end. So we now have internal lines. So now I get to pull the drivetrain out, make up the bulkhead, and work up the soft lines to tie those together. And then on the inside of the car, one last thing, that pass-through for the old master cylinder, and I was gonna weld it up, but then I decided, wait a second, I'll just make a little plate and use that as a bulkhead location for the front brake line. So, with the dual master cylinders, I have one master cylinder that's gonna feed the front brakes, one that's gonna feed the rears. So if we go under the car, I've just got the teeth, it's not even tight yet, but I've got the teeth fitting here, one to each side. So I'll have hard lines that run, off to the regular location on the struts for the hard lines, and then soft lines to the calipers once I decide what calipers I'm gonna run. Okay, stuff has arrived, and this isn't going to be a traditional unboxing like you might be used to seeing, because I couldn't wait to see what was in the boxes, so I already opened them up. And all I want to do is just kind of cover a couple of high points on each of the things that I want to show you. This is, let's call this the brains of the operation. This is the Haltech Nexus R5 ECU. And it's big, and it's got these giant power connectors on it, and what in the world is that for? Well, where a traditional ECU would take just like a 12-volt hot lead from ignition, this powers, it's got 4 25-amp outputs. So I can power things like the fuel pump, the fans, electric water pump directly from the ECU. I don't have to have any external fuses and relays to do any of some of that high current, high draw stuff. The connectors too. It comes with Amphenol rad locks. And those of you that might not be familiar with this, instead of having a stud with a nut, you bolt something on, this has got a push button fit where you just push the button and slide on the connector, and it's got like an auto strain relief capability where this thing can just rotate around, and when you want to disconnect it, you just push the button, pull it up, and your power's disconnected. So, cool. Now this thing does a ton of super duper awesome stuff. It's got the dual drive-by-wire, it's got dual O2, wideband O2 sensor capabilities, it's got tons of I/O stuff in it. It's more than capable for what I want to do, to not only run the engine, but to run pretty much everything else I might be able to think of that I want to do with this car. So I can't wait to start playing with this thing. Oh, and then one of my favorite things, me and style points, right? So, Nexus R5 and Haltech, and what if you need to mount it in your car like this, which it turns out I might need to do, for access to where the connectors go and all that good stuff. It would drive me crazy to have to look at that thing if it was upside down. So Haltech, the designers at Haltech get, huge points from me. The quote-unquote upside down sticker. So this replaces it. So you've got Nexus R5 correctly oriented. I just love stuff like that. So the R5 main brain unit. Oh, bunch of cool stickers too. So the sticker wall is going to get some nice updates. So that's the ECU, and it's got the power management unit capabilities in it, but because I wanted to have every single circuit in the car managed by these solid state programmable circuit breakers is essentially what these things are. But I also ended up with the PD16. So this is another 16 circuits of power management. Again, programmable, solid state, eliminates all fuses and relays. So between those two boxes, again, rad lock connector, between these two units, I have all of the capabilities to power every single circuit in the car with no fuses and relays. And this is kind of boring, but super necessary, and that is I ended up with, let me just get this stuff out of the way. Look at that. It's barely out of the box. It's already tangled up. So this is the flying lead harness. Connectors at the ECU end are all, AMP Super Seal, really nice stuff. The pre-terminated connectors are all Deutsche connectors. All the wires are labeled. It's beautiful stuff. And then all I have to do is figure out where each one of these goes, which ones I need, which ones I don't need, add my own connectors, and I'll have my ECU harness. And I also ended up with the same situation. This is the flying lead harness for the PD16. So between the R5 and the PD16 and these wiring harnesses, I got essentially every single wire in the car and every single circuit that I'm going to need is accounted for with these. So there's the main electronics goodies accounted for. I kind of went all in and I ordered 2 new throttle bodies. These are Bosch Motorsport 74mm throttle bodies. They are the exact same everything, bolt pattern, etc., as the Ferrari parts. Those, I'm pointing over there. They're sitting right there on the bench. The old Ferrari throttle bodies have one extra fitting on here that I actually don't need. It's not that big of a deal. But with everything that's going on, those are unknown in terms of they've been sitting around for probably 15 years. And since I bought these, I bought all this stuff through Haltech. So a main reason for doing that is if there was anything sketchy about getting the car to run, and if it was ever traced down to something like a throttle body, I know that they're in a position to know the story on these. They might not, I'm sure they couldn't help me at all if I said, hey, I got, 2003 Ferrari throttle bodies. Why is it not working? Who knows? So it's cheap insurance to just get a couple new throttle bodies. So that's the electronics package. And that's the interior hard lines. And that is the first of the service parts to arrive. A little late for a review in this episode. Plus, I've got a bunch of service parts coming from the European supply company. So I'll cover all that stuff in the next episode. And what that means is that's it for this episode. So I hope you enjoyed what you've seen. Stay tuned for the kitties if that's something you're into. And if not, I want to say thanks for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't. Leave me a comment or a question. Share, like, do all that great stuff. And we'll talk to you all again real soon. Everybody take care. Bye-bye. Okay, we're sneaking in the back of Morti's to do a quick check-in on the kitties. And the reason I'm doing this is because, well, there's Granny. Oh, hi, Granny Crackers. Oh, that's the meow we love. There's Granny. Oh, yes. Granny is 19 years old. Yes, she is. Oh, she's such a good girl. She is a 19-year-old, and she does not like other kitties. So she is in her own room back here, and she is just a love. Really essentially impossible to adopt old senior cats like this. She's got arthritis, she has a tough time moving around, but she is just a sweetheart. Just a sweetheart. Okay, so now we're gonna sneak in here and see all the little kitties. And there's Hot Toddy. Oh my goodness. It's Hot Toddy. Hi, is this little Vespy? Hi, hello. Hi guys, how are you? And here comes Waffle. Oh my goodness, it's Waffle. Look at these kitties. Oh my, look at this. These are the friendliest kitties ever. There's little Toddy cat. Well, hi Waff. Oh. And I think this is, I don't know who this is. Is this Penelope? I can't tell. Look at Waffle, just wants to cuddle.
Penelope has long hair. Shelby has short hair.
Okay, I think that is Penelope. My wife's telling me that in the background. Oh, hi, buddy. Hi. Oh, there's Vespy. Vespy, it turns out, loves to climb up on top of stuff. Hi. Hello. Oh, little Vesper. Hello. Aren't you pretty? Aren't you pretty? And look at this. Somebody wants pets. When they ask for pets, oh, little love bites. Is this Jay? I think this is Jay. Oh, hello. Oh, hello. Yes. Oh, those claws are out, but it's very soft paws. He's not trying to claw me. He's just, man, look at those things when they come out. It's hysterical. Oh, there's Penelope. Oh, hi there. Hi there, little one. Hi. Hi. Yes. Oh, little Vespy's just perched on her chair. And there goes Toddy to the top. Oh my gosh. And then Electric. And I think that's Jake. And who's that up there at the top? Don't know who that is. But they are way up high. Oh, look at this little action. Not quite sure how they're going to come down. Still thinking about it. Uh-oh. Everybody's talking about jumping. But Toddy's in the way. Electric's looking for the big move. You gonna make it? You gonna make it? I think you can make it. There you go. Nice one. Good job. Oh, maniacal kitties. And here is one of the best looking cats of all times. His name is Sir Poofington. He has, as you can see here, they call me Poofy. He is a hyperthyroid condition. And so he will be provided free meds. Morti's will provide all his meds for life. So he was about to be euthanized, and Morti's got word of it and is like, no. If all he needs, he was going to be euthanized because they didn't really know what was wrong with him. I think it was like a bad behavioral issues, and they took him into the animal hospital and did some tests, and he's hyperthyroid, and with meds, he is a rock star. He wants to be a single kitty, which is why he's in this room, but man alive, he is beautiful. He is a big, black, fluffy, long hair. Anyway. Oh, yes, hello. Hi. Oh, you're just a little squeaker, aren't you? Yes, you are. Hi. Oh, and look who's here. Guess who this is? It's Mama JJ. And hello, Julep. Hi, kitty cat. Hi. She is in here by herself because she was having a tough time getting along with some other kitties. And when she first got here, she was very nervous for some reason. And now she's fine. There's my girl. Hello. Hi. Hi, Mama J. And she has been adopted. She is getting picked up probably this weekend. Oh, look at this. She just wants to be scratched. Oh, look at this little love bug. Yes, yes, yes. Such a good mama. Okay, let's go see if we can find the Punch Man. And is this Chili? It is. It's Chili. This guy's a crack up. He's got these little white toes. Look at Chili. Hi, Chili. Hi, hi, hi. Look at your little toes. Completely white whiskers and little white toes. This guy is just a super duper looking cat. His little tuxedo outfit and his white whiskers and little white eyebrows. I know that feeling, buddy. I know the feeling of white eyebrows. Oh, and look who we found.
Oh, here's Punch.
It's the Punch Man. Now, Puncher is here only for today. So I came down to say goodbye to this boy. Oh my God, look at the size of the meat paws on this guy. And look at that. Oh, he is the best kitty ever.
I'm gonna miss him.
Yes, indeed. So he's going home with the vet tomorrow, as I mentioned earlier. And so I wanted to come down and say goodbye to him. Oh my God, not a claw in there. Oh, he's a love. Look at this boy. Look at this boy. Fuzzy man. Oh.
And he's going to have a long-haired gray sister named Sunshine that he's going to be meeting for the first time.
He's a boy.
And we're sure he's going to get along just fine because he's so mild-mannered.
Oh my God, look at this guy. He is just
purring the whole time.
He is, look at the size of the feet on this guy.
I know, look at him.
He's huge. Oh, and look at him. He doesn't care what you do as long as you're loving him. He's a boy. Oh, yes, yes, yes. Okay, Puncher, you have a great life. We'll see you later. Okay. All right, so there's the kitty check-in at Morty's.
Our family portrait.
There's... There you go. Oh, look at the boy. Bye, Puncher. See you later, man. Oh, such a boy. Okay, bye-bye.